Sixth grade, we're going to start a new design today. What we need is a pencil, and you need a 2" by 2" square, whether that's on drawing paper or this one's on cardstock that they'll be getting in class. Could be cardstock, just something that we can do a nice unique drawing on. All right, we're going to take this, we're going to use this to help repeat and make a cool pattern that we will finish up next week. So we're going to work on this for 2 class periods. This class period is just getting the design done like you see in the video here, and then we'll start adding the details and the color aspect of it next week. Okay, so let's get started. All right, 6th grade, let's begin. So in class I gave them a 2" by 2" square to do our drawing on. We're going to use this to help complete the whole sketch. So really all you just need to do is a piece of paper like computer paper or drawing paper and have it 2" by 2". And then what we're going to do, I'm going to use some scrap paper here, is you're going to come up with a design that is pretty simple, just some lines. You don't want anything too recognizable. We're just trying to make a pattern here, so I'm not going to draw a pumpkin or a smiley face. What we would like to do is have some of those designs go from off of the page. They could be stuff that's in the middle of the page, but we definitely want a few of them that are going to connect and go from one outside line to another outside line. Whether that's in the same space, maybe it's here to here, or like I did here from one side to another side here. So we're looking for that. This is the one that I came up with. All right, so just some simple basic lines, and then what we want to do on the back is we want to fill that full of pencil lead. So that's why I'm on some scrap paper. You're going to scribble and fill up the back side, but we want it to be on scrap paper in case we go off of the page. All right, once we get that done, we are going to start to add that to our sketch. So I'm going to go to my next page in my book here. All right, there we go. And we're going to start in the upper right corner. And we want to pick the direction we want this design to go. And so I think I'm going to go with this one right here. And what we're going to do is you're just going to start tracing. So we trace the design, make sure it's right in the corner there. All right, we're tracing this design to start to push it down on the paper. That's why we have the pencil lead on the back, because once we start to trace, that will push that design on there, and then we're going to slide it over to connect each design. So we're going to do this 4 times. I don't know how well this one will show up. All right, not too bad. So I've traced it, and I slid it over and I traced it, and I did that over and over till I got my 4 tracings in there. All right, this is going to be kind of light. In fact, it probably will be, I'll show you one right here, because in our next row we're going to do the same thing. We are going to trace it. All right, so you get an idea here that it's going to be kind of light, and it's okay as long as you can see it. But I had to go over it so that it would show up on camera. But as long as you can see those lines, you'll be doing all right. We don't have to make them darker. It is important, though, to hold this down while you're tracing. All right. And so there, not too bad. A little lighter than the other parts there. Every once in a while, I'll have to take this, go back to the scratch paper, and reapply some of the pencil. When we trace and slide it over, we want to go to the edge of the lines here. These aren't necessarily going to match up with anything, all right? My lines won't be 100% accurate with my drawing as far as connecting them, but I want to make sure that the top and the bottom, so the side here and the top, are in line. I can tell where my last lines were because there's little marks from where I went off the page, and so I'm going to just start there, and I'm going to retrace it. It's important not to move this square because you will not be able to get that back into place, and your design could be all over the place if you don't hold this steady. So you're just going to keep working side to side. All right. Again, I can see that pretty well. I don't need to go over this, but I may have to reapply some of this. You'll start to see, I don't know if you can see this on camera or not, but you'll start to see those lines, those white lines. That's where you have worn away the pencil. So that's where you got to add some more pencil to it so that it just keeps pushing down the design. Eventually, once we've got, you've got your first row down, and then you add your second row, and your third and fourth row, and pretty soon you've got the whole page filled up with your design. This is what we're looking at for next week. You'll notice my lines don't necessarily connect to one another. All right, we're going to take care of some of that detail next week. We're just looking at getting a nice page for a unique design that we're going to do. All right, so that'll take a while. The tracing is pretty easy. It's just making sure you keep this steady. Again, don't worry about if they don't connect, and try not to do something that's recognizable like a heart or a smiley face or a pumpkin or anything like that. We just want some simple shapes, some simple lines so that we can get this nice design in on our sketchbook. All right? All right, great, 6th grade. Really, next week we're looking for getting this design into our sketchbook or onto a piece of paper. Once we have this design that we come up with, then I'm going to next week show you how to add the color and to fix up all those loose ends that are all over the page, which won't be that big a deal. All right, so keep working on that. If you don't get that finished, that's what we'll be doing on next week. And if you do, then you'll know how we're going to start coloring it. All right, have a great rest of your week. Be safe, and we'll see you next Wednesday.